Yeah, sun's kind of bright. How you like my style today? My styling pretty good. This hat has been everywhere. That's why it looks a little dingy. Usually wear my other hat. I'm gonna see if this one will hold in there. The rubber things that are supposed to hold it are missing. I need to order a new one. ASAP pronto, which I should do right now. Um, leave it right there. That's not too bad. So, it's Friday morning. I'm on mirror. Notice I'm looking at the lens, not myself. This one girl came on this morning. I think she's a beginner. And she got up to like, I think it was 14 people in the room. And she kept telling everybody, hit the like button to help more people come in, right? And nobody would hit the like button. I think one person hit the like. And it was funny sitting there watching her. And then she ended the live stream. Um, so I'm going somewhere. I know I said I was going to go out here and do that video, but you know, I have to take care of some business. I got to be an adult, you know, not just making these whimsy videos. So I'm gonna start on my way out here because they're already open, which is bizarre for, for government places to be open this early. 7:30 a.m. It's almost going to be 8 here on the West Coast. So the sun's barely coming up, and I thought that I had left a sweatshirt in here because I'm having issues with the switching on and off of certain things. Um, and I just can't afford to fix it. Um, I mean, I should, but like I said, I can't afford it right now. Um, really strapped for cash. So, I'm gonna put this on because it's a little cold. It's still a little chilly, and uh, I mean it's gonna get hot here in a minute. But for right now, while I'm making this, so the signal kind of drops out. The signal kind of drops out a little bit on the way up here, on the way up there. Um, but and also the signal, Verizon wireless, which Verizon I guess they say they're gonna start going um, with satellite or something. I forget what it is, but Verizon, I've already told them. I don't know if they've fixed it by now, but we'll see. Um, the signal in Coalinga, California. Coalinga. That's like Coal-ing, Coal, Coal-ing, Coalinga, Coalinga. Um, I've told them that there's something wrong with the tower, transmitting tower out there. And I think it's deliberate because they had the same issue going on in Junction, Texas. And so I called them or sent them a text message, an email message, or some kind of message, which was what I should probably do here. because I haven't. But by chance, if Verizon is listening, you know they have bots, right? If Verizon is listening, there's something going on with the tower over here. I think it's deliberate, okay? Because when you walk into the library, just forget about any signal in the public library. I think that's one reason, and it may be other government buildings are in on it also. So if you're a First Amendment auditor, good luck trying to go in any public offices with the signal, okay? So Verizon fixed the towers in Coalinga, California. So I'm going to start on my way here. The signal's kind of crappy, you know, when I start. If I make a video from town over here at Avenel, it's crisp and clean, crisp and clear. And but just bear with it, bear with me on this one. And if there's important parts that drop out, I'll make the video from here being stationary, okay? Or who knows, maybe I might end up in Avenel. But what I'm going to talk about is, you know, I've been saying that YouTube really needs to make these couple of improvements that I've suggested for the live streams to better humanity, right? It will take us to the next level. One is the search option, to search geographically for live streams, because at this point there is 0 options for your search. And to make available in the comments section a function to make a video comment. Since this is not available, one option you probably could do is send a MMS message to the person, because you can send a video, but that is tedious, complicated, and it don't work very good. Another thing you could do is just have the person call you. Like I could tell you my phone number. My phone number is area code 559-517-1460. And you could just call me, and I can sit here and put you on speakerphone and do it that way, but it wouldn't be video, right? I don't know if video option is available. So because this feature is not available, I'm going to respond to this person with a video live stream, which is what I'm doing right now. I see whoever you are in the comments. Just talk amongst yourselves, I guess. Because I can't read really that far. What? I don't see any regular people in there. Yeah, so I'll read them maybe later. But anyhow, it's early in the morning, and I'm gonna respond to a person who is making video live streams. Let me see if I can turn this just a little bit. There. I'm going to respond to a person who is making video live streams. And this person is a... Can you see my fingers? I can't see anything. Know-it-all. Right? No, I'm just kidding. But apparently is a pretty smart cookie. Right? Got a memory. And got all her facilities working up to par. But I'm gonna make a comment on what she said. Hopefully the signal's still good. And there. And well, there is a issue. This is a big problem with people who get married to people from a different culture. You know, right here, you've got a lot of marriages going on with two different cultures, you know, that have been going on for probably 100 years, since Joaquin Murrieta used to run through here. Hold on, let's close this for you. Yeah, so sometimes the signal is kind of iffy right here. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it's not. So always going down this dirt road, the signal kind of craps out. But like I said, if it craps out, I'll redo this when it's stationary. And have you noticed how everybody's making videos from their car? Right? A year ago, nobody was doing it. Anyhow, so here they're mixing cultures. You got the, you know, I guess one of the major differences would be, you know, the kind of food. You know, you got hamburger and chicken dumplings in one culture, cheeseburgers, chicken dumplings in one culture. In the other culture, you have enchiladas and beans and rice and hot sauce. So those are the two cultures around here. And while this lady is from a different culture, she's from the I know Europe has a lot of different cultures altogether, right? Europe is like United States, but each state is its own country. So, you know, here each state is talking the same language. Over there, each state talks a different language. So I guess they must be like Babylon 3.0. And so that's an issue. One, you have a barrier with language, right? She's struggling to speak a different language, which a lot of people speak different languages. The Americans don't speak different languages. Everybody else around the world, they learn, you know, 1, 2, 3 different languages. And I'm a 2-languager. I speak 2 languages, but I don't speak her language. I mean, now with AI, it's a lot easier to communicate, but still there is a barrier. So when you're talking about, you know, profound subjects, subjects that are deep, and you have to take into consideration culture. And so because she's from a different culture, that puts a whole different freaking spin on it, right? Because she's basically trying to say, be intricate, you know, going through it with a fine-tooth comb on what is right and wrong. In relationships, especially, particularly in relationships. And so, kind of the gist of it, she said something about qualities, attributes, and she said something about, if a guy is, has certain attributes, behaves in certain ways, that, that's kind of gay. I'd have to go back and listen to her to remember exactly what she said, but that was one of the issues. And so she said that a man should have to do something that requires effort for someone that he wants. Like, say, if I liked this person, right? Her, which she's very desirable. I told you that yesterday. You should put in effort, no matter what your financial situation is. You should put in effort, because if you come over and you say, when I'm trying, but right now I can't do anything, but when I'm able to, I'll put in this effort, whether it's financially or whatever. And she made a comparison. I guess that's called a simile. I don't know if that's no, it's not a simile. It's a, whatever you call it. She said, that's like she said, you look like a fool, right? Basically, she was like, to spit on you. But she's not that crude. But she says, that's just totally, you look like a fool if you do that. And so she used this, analogy of going to a car salesman, going to a car dealer and telling him, that's a very beautiful car. I'd like to drive it, right? I'd like to take it to somewhere. And she goes, the car dealer's going to say, this dude's a freaking nut. Don't let him back in here. He's freaking nuts, right? He wants to drive the car, but he doesn't have money to drive it. Well, she was saying, no matter what amount of money you have, you should make the effort. And then she uses this analogy. So you're just basically canceling out. Poor people are not on your to-do list, basically, right? So basically that's a contradiction, what she's saying. I know I'm not explaining it exactly as I, have thought about it, but yeah, that's a contradiction. If the dude goes in there and he wants a car, he better have some money. So if he's interested in this girl, he better have some money. That's what you're saying. You're saying if you don't have money, just, don't even waste your time. And at the same time, you're saying if you don't have money, make an effort with that, whatever you got. So that's a contradiction. And there's some other stuff, but I don't want to waste my breath if the signal is going to cut out. One thing that she is missing And later on, I'll tell you her channel so you can check it out and listen to it. One thing that she is missing is that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, right? Her beauty is nothing if there's nobody there to admire it. And also, I sent it to her, and she's talking about a lot of different issues and hooking people up together. I guess that's what she does. She hooks people up together. They need to be talking about sex because, you know, she's talking about, you know, these are good attributes of a guy and all this stuff. But it's BS. When you get down to it, it's freaking BS because of the culture. And I'll explain this later because, you know, I know this signal is going to crap out. And so I don't want to be wasting my breath. But just for giggles and grins, let me go ahead and talk about it a little bit. Okay. One of the most important things about a relationship, if not the most important thing, is sex. And in her culture, it's probably the Christian culture, right? Christians all over Europe, or Catholic. And in this culture, you take vows. You have one person you take vows with, and you're with that one person. You don't have extramarital affairs, right? You don't go and have sex with the neighbor or with your boss, and so that right there, after you've been with the person that you've married, the wife is going to be sexually, she's not going to be as interested as she was the first time. And eventually, at least over 70% are going to be straight freaking bored. And to the point that they're probably getting off by themselves because it's so bad and boring. And so that's why there's so much fighting, divorce, separations going on, and people actually doing stuff that you would not believe. I don't want to mention it because it's a big, small world of what this one couple did because of it. Okay? Because of this issue in this culture. Other cultures, I've said it before, like the Eskimos, and there's others, do not believe in this. Just like in some cultures, they have harems, right? One dude will have a harem of women. That means lots of women. Doing the wild thing with them. And, even in this country, we have people who have more than one wife, and they have dozens and dozens of kids. I guess up in Pennsylvania and in Utah, that's where they're at. And I don't know if they're doing it on the down low now or if it's still legal. And the Eskimos, they will actually let their wives spend the night with the neighbor to have sex. They will lend their wives out to the neighbor to be neighborly. This is their culture. And so there is a remedy for this. I have a theory, a remedy for this, to make relationships not fail as bad as they are here in this country. I don't know what the divorce rate is in Europe, and there's all different countries. I don't know if their culture is this, how many different cultures there are there. Yeah, so she's talking about a lot of different subjects, but the real kicker subject, which I can actually comment on because she's going really into it, right? Getting really intricate. To follow her would have to be the subject of sex and sexual satisfaction in couples. Okay? So that's all I've got for right now. Signal's kind of iffy a little bit, and I'm concentrated on driving, so I just wanted to basically toss this out there a little bit so that we can go from here, because if she is for real, then this will be meaningful. But if she's, scamming, it's gonna come out, right? And she will run and hide. And I've seen it over and over and over again. There's freaking scams on here. They're trying to make money. So let's talk about it. So this is me signing out on this Friday morning. The sun just barely came up. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. I'm about 70 miles southwest of Fresno, California. And I'm on my way to take care of a little bit of business here at the local town here. And I've got a little bit more time to make videos now because the harvest season came to an end. And so I'll probably talk to you again soon. Keep tuning in. I want to try the signal in town, but I don't want this video to go on too long because I've already put my message out there, the subject. And so we'll talk to you in a little while, a little bit. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for liking. Sorry I don't have time to... Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for liking. Sorry I don't have time to read the comments. I'm sure you're all saying something interesting in there. So we'll talk to you later. Like, subscribe, and share. I'll let you know the channel that I'm talking about later so that you can listen to it for yourself. Okay? Talk to you later.